So, Coach Iguchi Samuel is into what we call family, fit, and fun. FFF. It's something she's passionate about. She's a professional, without any doubt, and she's got a decade of progressive experience in media. She has been into things like support for parents, support for um, guardians, teacher, child handlers. Is something she's passionate about. And that's why she's looking at the topic today. How do we do all of this and still, be mothers and still be the woman that we're supposed to be? Of course, she's an emotional intelligence certified professional. She's an emotional intelligence certified coach, and she's into technology. That's where she earned a BSc. She's also bilingual. I don't know that she'll be speaking some French today, you know. And she she has authored three ebooks: How to Create a Family Vision, Your Family Vision, How to Set Boundaries and Manage Expectation, which is very important, and Fullness in Diversity. Um, she's a very powerful member of this EQ empowerment team, and I'm very grateful to have her in our list. She's a doctor in the making, and very soon we're going to be celebrating with her. Everyone, please help me welcome Coach Ugochi Samuel on stage as she takes us on this very, very lovely topic today. Coach, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. E, and thank you, beautiful ladies, this evening. Um, I'm looking at the number. Yes, thank you, Vicky. But nonetheless, we would need to go ahead. Um, I'm a firm believer of audience of one, yeah, in anything I'm doing, because I believe that whoever that came into this session had put in some level of intentionality to be here tonight. I mean, we have so many things to do, but you chose to be here, and that's time and the intention to get something out of this, to get value out of this session should be honored. And that's why I think we should go ahead. This is exactly 7:40 to schedule. We will nonetheless have gone different. Once again from me, um, Coach Yusuf Samuel is my name. Let me see, have I been given a to share my screen? Sorry, I've been struggling and I'm on two internet levels. So what I would do is that I have decided to see if I can put off my video and then go ahead. I've also shared with Zion to assist me because it looks like my bandwidth is a bit weak. Zion, did you get that so that you could help me project from your end, or Taslim, anyone? Because I'm trying. So, is it possible, Coach E, Taslim, is anyone hearing me? Can someone help project me? But I'm trying to see how we can manage the network bandwidth. I sent the slides to Zion and to Teslim so that they can help project from that end while I put off my video and see how it works. I don't know. Okay, so while they come on, today's topic is a very unique one. I don't let the internet glitch distract you. We're going to get onto that. So while we get to that, it's a very needful one because attend, especially in our society, an underlying expectation that if the family end is not working, then literally people would say she hasn't succeeded. She hasn't succeeded. So
Coach, can you also send to me?
Okay, sir. Okay, I'll do that right away. So it becomes imperative that we look at that end to be sure that we tidy it up at any point in time, that you're not found wanting in that space of the home front. Sorry, a second. Okay. All right, I've sent it, sir. So I think that's one of the important needs to look at the home front alongside the business, the career, the ministry. Even if it's content creation that you're doing, they are all an extra load that you are taking. And it's a lot. You may be a single lady, but you're a single lady that is committed to family. So invariably, you have a family to look after. You have a responsibility that you are catching for, even when probably we're not looking at, say, you are having a biological child of yours, but every other family member expects something from you. That's a whole lot of weight on you as much as you carry your business and your career. So also if married, they expect that the crown sits well on you as you go your daily business. They expect that you're not found wanting in the home front. These things are quite challenging because no one really starts off preparing a woman that, okay, when you get to this age, this is what you're expected to do. But you come into life and you grow and you grow to meet challenges. And the expectation is that you would overcome and become successful in it. And that's where the through challenge is. So that's why tonight we want to look at how to so that you run out, you don't carry the guilt that you're not doing well, or better still, feel like you are not succeeding where you had already succeeded, right? So I'm just trying to highlight why it is necessary and why it's important that you look at how to manage the home front alongside the entrepreneurial demands of life, because you just have to succeed in both. Are we ready, Doc, with the slides? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So I had said earlier on that today's topic is managing the home front alongside entrepreneurial demands. And I said that tonight's session is for women who are earnestly desiring to find balance, who are desiring to have that harmony in handling the home front and the work demands. So the work demands here would mean your business, your career, your ministry, your caregiving, because sometimes people downplay the fact that probably you have a baby job for any woman to go through. And one of the jobs that are quite chaotic, they don't have up on baby time. You can make baby to sleep and baby decides not to cooperate with you. At that point, everything you had planned seamlessly will just turn around to 1.0. That's also decide that, oh, I'm working remotely. All of those are extra demands. Slide, please. That's what I'm saying. Should I take this on WhatsApp? Because the internet. I don't know. Okay.
Let's give it some more shot.
Sir?
It's back up. I said let's give it some more shot. A bit of resilience.
Okay.
We should be fine.
Okay. All right. Bear with me. It's going to be a great session. So introduction. This topic simply flipped. It's just talking about a woman's journey of balance. That's just on. So when we talk about how so that you can have balance and there'll be purpose and peace. So, and I said in many homes today, especially African homes, women are the keepers of the home and the family. So everything, everyone. We organize. You are the driver. You are the repairer. There's nothing you are not. You are even also the prayer warrior. So you are everything to everyone. It depends on where they met you and how they meet you. So now adding entrepreneurship to that. Time becomes your most sought after resource. But the load that we carry similarly appears that we need more than 24 hours. So if you ask any woman, the resource in your life is time. So how do you manage this home front alongside these demands that you have mentioned, all of the things that you do, written and unwritten, without getting overwhelmed, without getting not even losing yourself in the process of it? Next slide. So in this session tonight, we have three things. I've been able to look at this in three ways so that we have our takeout. of home responsibilities and these entrepreneurial demands. Number two, how to manage this overwhelm and be able to create space. Picture of everything we have described here. Everybody around you loses it because as a woman who is having a family to care for, whether it's or even by connection, you are at the center of the place where what you are bringing to them means a great deal. So how do you protect yourself from getting practical tips on how to stay on top of both words? So remember what I said that at the beginning, that you are an emotionally intelligent woman. Emotional intelligence is supposed to help you to practically the takeaway you should be having tonight. So number one, how to balance it, because those are your responsibilities. Two, strategies on how not to get overwhelmed, how not to get burnout. Okay, next slide, sir. So number one, ways to balance the home response. Let's go. My screen that is not moving. So we hear the word balance, balance all the time. I think I took time to explain when you means that everything gets the right attention at the right time, right? Because you can't overspend your this concept. When you hear balance, we are not saying that you will everything that you're given. If a challenge requires you to get it sorted 10 minutes, at some point you're going to have problem. You're going to have problem because you're also cutting into another thing that requires your attention. So what you do is that everything will get the right attention at the next slide. More faster. All right. So the first strategy on that section one. First, a human being before the role, before the they had given you in that home, you must know that you're first of all. And when you do so, when you acknowledge your personhood before the roles or before the title that accompanies you by the reason of what you are, that comes, if you fail to acknowledge that, every other thing becomes a demand, not a calling. Because at any point in time, you are being pressured. If you fail to acknowledge the fact that you're a human being first, timeline of those people without recognizing that you're a human being, you're not God. I said, learn to take emotional inventory. And what I mean by that is try to know how you're feeling, because you may be by Friday, but on Monday morning, you are not pumped up. So that means the amount of work that you are able to achieve on Monday will definitely vary from what you're achieving on Wednesday or on Thursday. So it's important that you take emotional what you have come to do. If you are not in the right frame of mind, if you are not mentally alert and sound, then it means that your output definitely will be affected. How you're feeling, what do you need right now? Are you running on fuel or on fumes? It's by self-awareness. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence. You must know yourself. It is your feelings. Name how you are feeling. Know how you are feeling, what you're feeling on the inside of you, to be able to um, uh, give it a name, be able to assess yourself and say, you know, I am happy, I'm excited, or I feel disgusted over this. So when you are able to name that, it goes a long way to show that you now have self time. Next slide. So know that you are a person, and under this session of how to balance the home responsibilities is that life is in seasons. So know your season. Everyone you're going to walk as it's not the way you are going to walk if your energy and even your plannings for you are in competition with another person. And even in the season of same family life, you can have children who are grown-ups. Has toddlers, a woman who has children who need to be cared for. If you have teenagers who can come back from school and able to bring out the food from the freezer and let it thaw before they eat it. Strength to help you. While somebody whose children are not up to that age will not probably at that time leverage on such. If you're in a season where you require more help, where you need to access more help, and you are working like a superhero who does compared to somebody whose children or whose family structure is granting the person support more than you who do not have at that time. So it's important that you know that life is in seasons and also be able forever. These things move. Okay. Please, as I take this slides, if you have your questions, it would be great if you can note them so that you need to do in balancing your home is to prioritize what matters most. Most of us have heard this. If you didn't hear it in economics, you must have read it somewhere. Scale of preference. Not everything matters equally. Not everything is requires your attention. Some things can be outsourced. So, and I said in a typical Nigerian context, I just had to look at what we have. If you social obligations like weddings, burials, birthdays, you have pressure from in-laws. You have so many things you have, they are coming. You need to do a lot. And then you have expectations from siblings. Of course, the list is inexhaustible, but these are the few that are kind of recurrent. And if you are in the diaspora, you are now bound to have things like cultural meetups. You're going to have church programs as well. Community leadership roles that will be given you because there, of course, when you of course host family responsibilities. Now, when I say prioritize because you must learn to say no without achieve a balance in your home, in balancing your responsibility and your entrepreneurial demand. And you must also learn how to say yes with intention. So I added yourself, I'm sure you must have heard that. You must learn how to say no without feeling any guilt in you. Also, you must learn how to when you say no to something, then you are saying yes indirectly to some other thing. Now it becomes irresponsibility when you say yes, when you say no to something, and then the time you are no longer putting it in something. And when I say putting it in something, it doesn't have to be work. Even to rest, putting it for you to rest is a good intention. So when sorry, I won't be able to show. What then? You must know that you must ensure that you're saying yes to something with intention because this is what I want to do. Probably you want to be part of a Zoom session like this. And so that time into something meaningful or something that is your total intention. It's important. Otherwise, you will not be able to achieve balance. So if you have an exam, I gave an example from the church. I had to use this because I know that most of us have this very strong attraction and desire when it comes to religion. You are called to do something, maybe presentation or even teach there on the same day at the same time. And you know you can't do both. Remember what I said, the first law of balancing in your home is to remember that you're a human. So you can't do that, right? So, and I said it's okay to choose what fits your peace and purpose. It's very okay. However, not say that is because she is now the CEO of this, or ever since she attained to this height, she no longer wants to associate with us. People will always talk, but I want you to know that it's very okay. Saying yes to is feeding your peace and your purpose. So that is just a hack for someone, because sometimes I cancel with people and they find it difficult. Say no to this big auntie. I can't say no to this man because he's the one that helped me. Now, one of the ways to run away from this and still stand is to make sure that anything that you want to choose when you for what is feeding your peace and your purpose. Next slide, sir. Next. Is it the network that is making it to hang and not move?
Yes, we are on create structure and delegate here.
So I said create structure.
Yeah, is that the
Create
slide
structure,
you
even if
can
it's
see?
flexible. So I work with a lot of parents. Hours, what happens in the work hours, and what happens in family time. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to just try to be consistent. Here would mean that every morning you need to wake up and get the children ready. If you still have young children, toddlers, work coming up. Thank you. I see we're back. And then you just try to work on the consistency of using that routine so that even if somebody visits, because they know that in this house there are things that are done in the morning as morning routines, there are things that are done in the afternoon when they are all off at work, whether you're working from home or your office is outside the home, a different facility from where you're living. And then things or three large headings can help you, but try to be consistent rather than aiming to be perfect, to have it all stated out time to time, because I mean, life happens. So what's important, you people follow in your home. Now, what this will do for you is that this will help you move with purpose rather than panic. Because if you don't have structure, anything that happens, it hits you and you're confused because there is no structure. You can't say that from here to here, this is what you were doing with your time. So if an extra support beyond this session that we're having today, because discipline is part of the things that will help you keep up with consistency. And then the next one is delegates. Yeah, it's here. Delegate your handled a session like this last week on a strong woman. So in that session, we were able to understand what a strong woman is. A strong woman is not a woman that you measure with the capacity of strength, like how much tons of weight you carry. It's a woman that stands, and a woman that lives in harmony with herself and the people around her. So hire help where needed. And I also did mention in that session that there's no award for late. That woman, she died, but she did work, man. You can't give her an award. No. We would have preferred that you were not working, but you are alive, that you are dead. That's the truth. Anybody who loves anybody doesn't want the best. Because you were working, not accessing help. That's why you died. I don't think it's an inspiring story. Okay. The person laughing was in that session. Yes. I see a lot of people who think that because someone is seeking for help, a person is lazy, even in the workplace. But I tell people that seeking for help is actually a sign of wisdom, because it is only those who know. If Zion knows how to do this task well, and Vicky knows how to do the other one well, and I know how to do one well, and I'm expected to do the three. What is stopping me now from telling Vicky to do this one and give me, Zion to do this one and give me? At the end of UDD, that means you have extra time to be seeking for UDD. What's important is that the work has been done. So please, women.
Progress.
Yeah.
Yes, the next slide should be strategies. That's the second point for us tonight. And I think that is very key, even if you didn't get any other thing in the way to balance the. So, did you say anything that in our? Okay. So while we wait for the slide, I said the next thing we're entering is the second session, the second part, or the part B, what we may call the part B of tonight's session, which is the strategies to manage overwhelm and create space for yourself. And I said it's the meat of this session tonight. And I want to implore you to please pay extra attention, because this is more like housing every other thing we're saying tonight. Yes, next slide, sir. That's where we are, the next one, so that we can begin to discuss how to manage overwhelm and create space for yourself. Because some women, if you don't tell them to stop, they won't stop. The next slide after this, or following this, is where we should be now.
Yeah, what slide are you? A, trying to stop to be perfect. That's where I am.
Under this session, I think we have up to, okay. So 4 of them or 5. So I said the number one thing under this strategies to manage overwhelm, strategies to manage burnout if you want, strategies to avoid losing yourself. That's where we are now. Number one, stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to be perfect. I remember when I got married, my my marriage journey with a set of twins. So if anybody has been close to anyone that has twins, you will understand that it's not, if one baby is a whole lot of work, let alone having two at the same time. And then starting it as a first time mom is one of the greatest challenge I would say I had faced in my marriage, because it's not easy at all. I don't even know why God gave me as I don't get power like that. But I had to I had to learn. Perfectionist tendency of, even the next time the child may not get it, but you will be willing, kind enough to work with our pace, knowing that somebody else is trying to also be of help to you here. So choosing progress over perfection is one of the things that would help you to avoid overwhelm. You know, if you do everything. My pastor used to say that you are not El Shaddai, so you cannot come and die. Do you get? So you can do the one you can afford to do. Remember that we need you alive more than being dead and receiving an award of the most hardworking woman, but being out of the surface of the earth. Let that guide you. Let progress be what you should be measuring per time and not perfection. Number two, this comes up, I said it earlier on, and that's because I'm putting it here because of how important it is. Learn to say no. A lot of us, because of the way we're trained in Africa, saying no is something that we were not brought up with, especially the older generation, from the millennial people down. We didn't have such privileges. For the Gen Zs and the Gen Alpha and the Gen Beta, they are having it. They can tell you no, right? And still keep a straight face. That's if they even get to talk twice. So it's something we have to learn. There's nothing wrong with saying no. The truth is that every yes you say has a cost. And when you're supposed to do something and you out of how they put it now, out of eye service, you say no, you say yes to something when you know that deep down you don't want to be there. You know that this is going to encroach into something else, but because you lack the confidence to say no to that offer or to that request, you are now out of fear saying yes. Know that when you say yes to something that you ought to have said no to, there's a cost. And sometimes some costs can be very there, yes. Some yeses come with very high costs that it may take years to even rebuild what it has taken away. And number 3, schedule rest, please. Rest is very important. Rest is not laziness, and the rest is not optional. Even God rested. So exhaustion is not an evidence of hard work. Please, exhaustion, tiredness is not an evidence of hard work. It is a warning sign. So please rest. Once your body is giving you that sign that you have stood up for long, you have carried this thing for long, you have bent down for long, you have used this hand for long, rest. Take short breaks. Take short breaks. Have quiet moments and then step away when needed. It's not only you that will be working. Step away because it's important, because rest refers creativity. That's one thing we don't know. It refers creativity, patience, and then will bring about more love, especially that patience. If somebody is irritated, you will discover that the person's patience level, the person's patience bandwidth becomes very small. And finally, I said you're not a robot. You're not a robot. Even your phones need charging. Eh? Your phone, like they say, Nigerian phone, they need charging. So if a device that you're using, once you have used it for some people, of course, we all agree that the battery levels are different. Some phones, if you need to plug it in the charger. I'm communicating. There are some phones you need to be in the charger for you to be making the calls. Like that one, you know that the battery has already said bye-bye. So don't be like that to the charger and now see you.